Okay, can you hear me? It seems that nobody else is coming. Hmm. So last time we created quite a big part of the game. So right now we created the building mechanics that we can train units, and the mechanics for melee units. And now we'll create another unit, this time ranged. Unfortunately, I did not find assets for the Stone Age, but we do have assets for the Medieval Age. Well, I don't know that some assets for the Archer. Okay, have to unzip this first. And I know my desktop is a big mess. Okay, so let's just drag and drop this in the sprites folder. Okay. But okay, here I did not see the animations. So we have it seems that we have variations for Archer. See which one we want. Maybe not the black one. We have a red one, or this one. This one is nice. So now we have to split this into individual frames. Obviously, since we are working with pixel art, we'll set a filter mode to point. And now here in the sprite mode, from single to multiple. And let's see how big this is. How big is one frame? The calculator. So we have 704 on the x, and we divide by 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 64 on the x. Okay, so this size 64. Oh, it seems that it is 64 times 64. Let's slice. Make sure that everything is good first. And also we want the pivot to be on the bottom. So we select bottom center, but we have to do this for every sprite, so we have to slice again. Okay, save this. Make sure that the pivot, this circle here represents the pivot. Okay, and you can move it manually if you want for some sprites. But it seems to me that this is not in the center, so we'll have to move it a little bit. Where is it? Okay, so let's go to slice, bottom, custom, So this is these are the settings for the bottom pivot, but we have to modify this a little bit. Let's try 0.4 slice a little bit more, 3, 8. Yes, now see it's in the middle now. You can save. And now we have to construct the game object for the archer. It will have the same components. It will have the same components that the other units have, but the behavior will be different. Let's grab our prefabs to see how this looks first. Obviously we will have the same children. We'll have to have two raycast positions. So this is the starting position of the raycast, and then some position for the death effect. Okay, so we got this archer. We have to reset the transform so that on the when you're working with 2D, you want everything on the Z position to be 0. So we need a sprite renderer, and let's add one frame here so we can see our unit. Okay, now let's make sure that it is in the correct layer. To do that, we'll compare with the other units, so it must be in main layer 1. And also let's set this pixel per unit to the size of each sprite, which is 64. And now we can make this even bigger with the scale, something like this, maybe even bigger like this. Okay, let's see what else do we need. So rigid body and the box collider, which is trigger, and then the unit script, the behavior, and then the animator. Okay, so let's add the box collider 2D first, and we'll have to resize this. It is trigger, then the rigid body 2D, and we want no gravity, the collision continuous, and let's freeze the rotation and the position on the Y axis. Then the animator. Now we have to create the animator, but first let's call this, instead of archer, we'll call this unit 5, and then the name we'll add it to the unit script. So this is the script that all the units have with the variables that they have in common. And here I believe we have the name of the unit here. Okay. Now let's create those animations. So let's go to animation folder, create new animator controller, unit 5. So in each level of technology we have 3 units. Okay, now we can create animations. but first let's see. We have some animations that are not necessary. Okay, we have to open this in so we go to the sprite and open the sprite door, and now we have to determine which animations we need. This seems to be the idle. This is the attack, and this is the movement. Okay, so the first 5 are idle. Okay, so let's go to our unit, Windows, Animations, Create, but not in this folder, in Animations, hit 5 idle. Unfortunately, we have to count these sprites because they are all in one image. Okay, now let's zoom in on that archer and see how this looks. Lower the speed a little bit. This looks okay. Okay, next animation. But before that, I want to see how I named these. So we have run and attack. Okay. Need 5 run. Now we have to go back to the sprites and count where this starts and where this ends. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 19, 11. Okay. 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now let's see how this looks. Lower the speed. Okay. Seems okay, maybe increase the speed a little bit. Okay, next one. Wait, this is the, sorry, this needs to be called attack, not run. Here, where is it? Unit 5 run. Okay. So instead of run, we call this attack. Let's see if it is updated. Okay, and it's not. Have to replace it. Okay, now the run animation. Unit 5 run. And if you have questions or suggestions, please let me know. Also, let me know if you want to chat in the Twitch chat or the Discord one. Okay, so now I have to see again how many frames is that run animation. 8. Okay, so now 5 plus 11. So 5. So from here 8 is and have to lower the speed, something like this. And now we'll use the same parameters in the animator. Let's check how the others were made. So we need just is walking and is attacking, and I should have named this is running, but whatever now. And it seems that we use the animator play to play the attack. We're not using parameters to enable it. Okay. So Yes, let's go to our animator. Okay. Now let's create the transitions. Okay, and from the attack to ladders, here we want let's see what we want. Okay, so from idle to run, we want is walking through and is attack false. From run to idle, walking false and attacking also false. And here from the attack to idle, walking false, attacking false, and here is walking through and is attacking false. Now we can create a behavior which is not that different, but first we will recast. First we recast to see if there is an enemy, and if there is no enemy in range, then we recast to see if there is a friendly unit in front of us, so then we can enter the idle animation. And now we'll open our script and copy paste the script from the melee unit and adapt it. Let me share in chat that we're streaming. Okay, I moved the scripts from one folder to another, and now it will not appear here. Okay, so we have to look for our scripts where they are saved. First, let's get that unit 5 script and place it in the scripts folder. And now we'll open unit 4 and unit 5. It seems that it's only us here there's nobody else in the chat again. Okay, so now we'll copy paste everything inside here and try to adapt it. Okay, it's lagging a little bit. Okay, let's see. Let's save this first. Ctrl S. And first of all, we need to create those transforms for the raycast. And to do that, we need to go to our unit. Can create two. In fact, we created 3 empty objects because we want also the position for that effect. So recast left, recast right, and that effect position. Let's go to the scene and reposition those. So we want them somewhere like this. And now we can copy the position to the other one, but here we say -1 minus on the x, and now we have these two. That position, this needs to be in the middle here. Okay. Let's make sure that this unit is player and the layer is player. Okay. And now we need to place those transforms in the script. Raycast position, this will be determined. Now the raycast layer mask, we want enemy and player. So with the raycast we are targeting only these two layers in the physics layers. Unit script, this we will get by script. Everything seems to be okay. Now here we'll change the logic a little bit. Okay, so if it's not attacking, then we raycast. So here in the start function, depending, we determine if this is enemy or not, and then we select the direction and also the raycast position. By default it is walking, so it starts by walking when it mounts. And here see this laser length, we'll have to call this first of all, this is the incorrect name, so it needs to be called raycast length. But can you hear me? I disconnected. Okay. Okay, so this we'll have to do two raycasts. The first one we'll do to check for enemies that are in range, and if there is no enemy in range, then we raycast to see if there is a friendly unit. But let me think 1 second. Yes, okay, we'll do it like this. So this one we'll call this raycast length attack, and so we raycast for enemies first. And here if collider is null, sorry, it's different. So if we hit something with the raycast, then we get that unit. But see, the problem is we don't want to raycast on both the friendly units and the enemy units. We want to have two separate. First we want to raycast only on enemies, and to do that we will need 2 layer masks here. Okay, so we'll call this attack mask attack. Sorry, no, not like this. How do we do this? Yes. So raycast layer enemy, and then with layer mask raycast layer layer. Okay, and now we can go to the editor and have 2 separate layer masks, but I have an error here because I changed the name. of this. So here is this, and instead of that we'll have to determine which one to use, but first let's create those. Here we have another error here. Let's get rid of the errors first, because if you do not get rid of the errors, you cannot see the updated script in the inspector. So here we want for the layer one layer mask for the enemy and one for the player. So layer masks means with this you target specific layers. Okay, so first we recast to see if we have enemy units in range, but this must work both for enemy units and player units. So we know that the recast direction, the length, but here we do not know what layer. So to determine this, here when we in the start function, when we determine the recast direction, we want also to select the correct layer masks. So for that we'll create a layer mask recast layer. Okay, so if it is not enemy, then we want to recast towards the wait, yes, yes, so here we want in fact two layers. Okay, so we'll call this E and this P, meaning this is the enemy and this is the player, and we'll place these two depending on which unit this is. So if it is not enemy, so it's player, then our enemy is this one layer enemy, and our recast for the player is this one, and here if it is enemy, then we reverse these two. Okay, now that we have that and we know which layer to target, here we want to recast the enemy. So instead of this, we place the enemy there, and we'll have to determine the length, and to do that we'll take this debug draw ray here, and we'll place it immediately after the recast is created. Yes, now we need to see how big this is in the game panel. We do have errors, but that's not the problem. You see, this is very small, this recast. So let's try a different length, something like 5 maybe. Let's see if this is big enough. But you see we have some errors here, and I'm not sure. Yes. So first the problem we have is that we need to set some HP here, otherwise it assumes the unit is dead, and we get an error because we do not have the dead effect here. And in fact, let's place that effect. Here we have visual effects, and let's place that dead effect. Okay, now we should not get errors. But let's place this far away from the square. That square is basically an enemy unit we use for testing. Seems okay to me, but maybe you want to increase it even more. We'll keep it like this for now. And now, so we recast and check for enemies. So if you hit something, then we have a message we display in the console a message that we hit something. Then we get a target unit, and now we check if it is different than us. So if it is enemy, in other words. And here we want to attack, but the attack is different here because this is a ranged unit. Let's see if we have an arrow asset here somewhere. I don't think yes, we do have an arrow here, so let's create that. Okay, first pivot in the center, that is okay. We want point because it is pixel art. Let's place our arrow here. Now select maybe even bigger a bit, something like this. And now we want to create some empty objects on the unit, and this will be the arrow spawn position. So arrow spawn left and arrow spawn right. Okay, now position that at the middle of the arrow because that's where the pivot is. And this should be the right one. So sorry, the left one. So we say minus here, and now we can copy the position, paste it on the right one, and remove the minus. And now the arrow needs to have some sort of collider. In this case, 2D. Okay, and we want. Okay, this is okay. We can keep it like this. It is trigger, so no physics. Okay, and now the thing is, this arrow needs to be able to hit both enemies and friendly units. And I thought about placing a tag of player or enemy, but if we do that, then when the unit recast to see enemies or friendly units, will recast the arrow, and we don't want that. So instead we'll have a script for this. We'll have a script for all projectiles. So here in the box collider it is trigger, so no physics. Then we need a rigid body. and in this case I will say kinematic. No, that will keep dynamic. Gravity 0. We want to freeze rotation and position on the y-axis, then the collision continues. Now we'll create a script projectile for all projectiles. And now we need to resize the collider of the unit. You see, this is way too big. Something like this. Now we flip it to see that okay, so this is good on both sides. Save this. Let's go back to the arrow, open the script. So we want to have a target object, and now here we need on trigger enter 2D. So if it collides, if collision it is equal to target object, so we, yes, if it reaches the target object. But wait, this is not okay, because what if we spawn the arrow and it goes towards the target, but the target dies before the arrow reaches it? Then we have a problem. Yes, we have a problem, so we cannot do it like this. We need another logic. Yes, I think I know how to do this. Yes. So here we'll have a public string target tag, and then in our on trigger enter 2D, if collision then compare tag target tag, then we want this to have some damage, so public int damage, and then we want this to take damage, this unit, and to do that we need the unit component. So, but first let me check the conditions here in update. So if HP is okay, so we just subtract the damage from the HP. But let's get that component in a variable. So the unit script is equal collision get component unit. Now I have the unit component, and then unit script HP minus equal damage, and then we want to in fact we want to we want to destroy the object, the arrow or the projectile, whatever the projectile is. Okay, and this target tag we will set it when the object spawns in the attack coroutine of the unit. Let's look at that attack coroutine first. So this is okay. We stop movement, we disable the walking animation, and here while attacking. So while the unit is still alive here, but first let's look at the raycast. So we get the unit, but since we are targeting the enemy, we don't need this if here anymore. Only this if it's not attacking, we attack here. Okay, because we know this is the enemy for sure. Okay, let's see. Else, if it's not attacking, yes. So now, if we do not hit it, so here, let's modify the task. If we hit the enemy of this unit, so it works both for players and enemies. And you see, we had these cells here inside, but now we need to take it outside. In other words, if we are not if we did not hit the enemy, we want to raycast for friendly units to see if we have friendly units. Okay. So here, else, so we did not collide with the enemy. Now we want to raycast again. So we'll take this, we'll use the same variable. So raycast. And we need a length. So let's take this one here. And before we create the raycast, we select the length and we'll rename this. So raycast length friendly. Okay. And the raycast layer is the player raycast. Oh wait, we called this incorrectly. So not PF for friendly. Let's say so here friendly, because this is not the same. So here friendly raycast layer. The length will be much smaller, and again we now need to check. We need to check if we hit something with this raycast. So again, if it collider different than null, and here I'll comment this, so we know that this is if we hit friendly unit. And then we want to use this. We'll maintain this code. Now we'll delete this from here. So else meaning if we do not hit enemy. Okay. And then if we do not hit friendly either, then it means we have to stop walking. So here we'll say else. So if we do not hit anything, then we stop. We enter the idle behavior. Okay. So this should work, but now we need to also here the raycast, the draw ray, we want to draw the raycast so we see it, but with a color different than the first one, or we can or either that, or we can comment the other draw array. So this is just to see how big the array is. Now another thing that we need is these two positions, the arrow spawn positions. So let's create that public transform projectile. Yes, let's call that projectile instead, because this will be for all range units. We have an error summon. Yes, here. I might have a bit of lag. Let me know if I have lag. Spawn left. Some projectile spawn right. Okay. Now we place those two positions in the script. Raycast position, this will be determined in the script. And now here let's say transform projectile spawn, and here when we check if it is enemy or not, we select the projectile spawn. So if it is not enemy, it is player, so that it must spawn to the right. Okay, and if it is enemy, then to the left. Now let's go to that attack routine. Okay, so it's attacking through with staff movement, disable the walking animation, and we attack until the target is dead. Okay, and we play the attack animation, and here you see we have the attack speed, but also we need to know the attack animation duration. So let's go to our animation folder. This is unit 5 attack, and we see that it is 1 second. So now we can go in our inspector, and here in attack animation duration we select 1. Let's also say 1 for the attack speed. So move speed, and now the arrow we'll place this in our prefabs, create a folder called projectiles, place the arrow here. We need a variable for that arrow, but we'll call this projectile, public game object projectile prefab. And also this projectile needs to be above the units. So let's select the main layer and 2 here, so 1 layer above the units, maybe 3 just to be sure. Okay, now let's place that arrow object here in our script, and now we need to modify the attack routine. Obviously we want to play the attack animation, but the thing is, we want to spawn that that arrow at a certain point in the animation. Um, and you see here we deal the damage after the duration. But we don't need to do that here. It will be done at collision with the projectile. So instead here we want to spawn that arrow at a certain point in the animation. So to do that, here we want a function public void spawn projectile. Okay, so we want to save that object when we spawn it, like this: game object projectile object, and now we spawn it projectile sorry, not projectile prefab. So this is the object that we're spawning. Then we need to say the position, which will be the spawn projectile spawn. Then the rotation, it's 0, like this. And here it says it cannot convert from transform to vector 3. So here we must remember that this is a transform, so we need to set that position to get the vector 3 position. And now that we have the object, we need to modify some things, but here instead of this, let's do it another way. Let's say projectile, and here we'll say projectile script, and then after we spawn the object, we say we get the projectile component. You can do this like this in one line of code. Now that we have that script, we want to set a couple of things. So projectile, sorry, not projectile script, and then target tag, and we need to know if this unit is enemy or not. So here, if game object dot compare tag player, then so if this is a player unit, then the tag will be the opposite of this, which is enemy. And then else if it is enemy, the unit, then the target is player. Script target tag is equal to player. You see, and now here in our projectile, this works for both enemies and friendly units. Okay, and then we need two things. We need to and we can do this here in our projectile. Oh wait, never mind. We can't, because and also here, after we set the target tag, we want to flip the sprite as well. Okay, so we'll put brackets here because we have more than one line of code, and here as well. Okay, mind will be hard to follow, but it's fine. Don't worry, I will post the recording in on YouTube if you want to rewatch this. Okay, so now the arrow, it is pointing towards right when the flip is false. So in that case, if it is player and the target is enemy, then we want to get that sprite renderer. So we get like this sprite renderer flip x, and it's false in this case. And if it is enemy, then it is true. Okay, and also now we need to set we need some speed for the projectile. So here let's say public float projectile speed, and now we need um, um, to apply the speed, we need a rigid body. So let's do that here. Script get component rigid body 2D velocity, and we set it to, if it is player, then vector 2, right, multiplied by projectile speed. Okay, and if it is enemy, then here we say left instead. Okay, and we want to spawn this projectile at some point in the animation, and we'll have to look and see which frame is the best. So here in the attack animation, you can place events wherever you like. So I think somewhere here, yes, here should be okay. Here, in fact, yes, here it's okay. So see, this button here is for placing events, which events are usually functions from the scripts. Okay, and now we can select it. Unit 5, methods, spawn projectile. And at that frame, the function will be called. Now, another thing we need to do here is on our animation, attack animation. See this here, loop time. This means it loops now, so we need to deactivate this, so it will not loop. Let's see what else. Now we need to set a speed for that arrow, so the projectile speed. And let's place now we need a button to create this unit. In our canvas we have the tech unit panel 1. Here in our unit layout group we have this, but this is not unit 1, this is unit 4, my mistake. Okay, and we'll duplicate this, but why is this space between them? Okay, so like this. Let's do that for the other panel as well. Okay, so there is no space between them. Should be a little bit of space, like this. Okay, let's copy this to the other panel as well. And let's rename the button to unit 5. Now before anything we need to save that unit in our folder, so let's take it from the scene to the folder, and in our game manager we want to add that unit, and in here in our on click, so when we click this button, we want to spawn the unit at the index 4 because array starts from 0, not from 1. Uh, and a couple of things. Now this needs a price, let's say 10, just for testing purposes. And here inside this we have the unit image and the price text. Let's find a frame, and you can see that this is not centered, and because of the pivot we have, and we can fix that. We'll duplicate this. First of all, let's remove all variations. Okay, we'll remove these. And now we can duplicate that sprite, and then we'll open the sprite editor, and instead we'll place the pivot this time on the center, which is still not okay. We need this to be here. Okay, now we can save it, get the first frame, and place it on our button image. But for some reason it still does not work. Preserve aspect, yes, but okay, let's see what we did a mistake here, I believe. Not sure exactly what the problem is. Let's try again. So slice center, yes, center. Save. Okay. So for some reason the pivot is not correct. Set the native size. Okay, I'll try again to place this correctly here in the middle of the character. That's very interesting. I'm not sure what the problem is. Okay. First thing first, let's change the size. Let's check the other one and see I want to see where the pivot in that one is. Okay, I see. So it is at the bottom. Okay, we'll try to do the same. Instead of center, we try bottom. But this is still not okay because it is not in the center. Yes, I don't know what this is. Okay, I see. Then let's make it smaller, even smaller. Okay. Now let's try different resolutions and see if it is uh, seems to be okay in all the resolutions. Okay. Now let's test the unit. We'll simulate the game. Okay. See, this raycast here is the enemy raycast. The speed is a bit too low. 1 second. Speed, move speed. And you can see it spawns instantly because of the 0. And it seems to work. It seems to work quite well. Okay, but that arrow, first of all, I don't like the way that arrow looks. Okay, we'll do something here. Let's open animation, the attack animation specifically, and let's pause it here. Okay. And now let's place an arrow here in the scene, just because I want to see how big it should be. Let's reset this position, go back to our unit, the arrow, and you see that the thing is, the arrow in the animation is much bigger than the arrow we have. So let's try bigger. See the position. Even bigger. It needs to be even bigger. Oh. Yes, this needs to be bigger. No, it's too big. Try 1.5. Yes, now this is correct. Okay, and these spawn points need to be fixed here in the center of the arrow. Now we'll copy the position, put it in the left as well, but with minus on the X. So now the arrows spawns at the exact position okay, let's try again, see if this looks better. But one more thing, let's go to the unit, the archer, and here we must have projectile speed somewhere. Let's change it to something much faster, and time to test. Wait, not yet. First, the unit has some built-in direction. 2 seconds. Let's see. I'm not sure if this is working. Let's see. Yes, now it is a bit too fast. Or not fast. The problem is that we need this to wait. It is in the order layer 3. Yes, now it's too fast. So here in our projectile speed, decrease it. Okay, there seems to be a problem with the arrow. Okay, where is that? Yes, you see, this is very small. That's one problem. Okay. Oh, I see how it is. Okay. Um, let's place arrow here in our scene. Something like this. Yes, this needs to be 5. So here 5. Yes, it's much better now. Maybe lower the arrow a little bit. Okay, so player. Here these two projectile spawns. Drag them. Yes, these two needs to be around here. So let's replay the scene. Okay, so this seems to work okay. And now we'll have to do a couple of things. One is we need the turrets and a special ability for each level of technology. And for that, first let's check some game assets. we're looking for of something like a building, city builder. Let's try a different tower maybe. I just need some sort of structure where I can place turrets. Um, so let's try ladder. Ladder. How do you call this? Yes, something like this. Yeah, let's use this, and we'll look for. We'll try to create some turrets. Okay. Let's see where this is downloaded. Make everything, minimize everything. One second, I have to unzip. And now we can drag this in our Unity, in the sprites, and let's place those ladders, but take the high resolution one, see how they look. Obviously we wanted this to be in the same layer with base. Okay, I see. Okay. Okay. Call this turret holder. Okay. And the layer of this should be the same as the base, so -2 in the main. Place it here. Okay, and here the turrets will stay on this, and I don't even think it's necessary to place it inside the base. So turret holder player, we call this. Maybe increase it a little bit. Nope, that's too big. We'll place turrets on this one. And now we'll duplicate this and place it on the other part of the map. This will be the enemy. But before that, this needs to have this needs to have some positions where the turrets will stay. So inside this we'll create some empty, we call this turret holder, and this turret holder will have a collider because we want to be able to drag turrets here. You'll see in a second. Seems to be okay. Trigger, obviously we don't need the physics. And then one here, 2.5, and one below, 0.5 minus, and these should be called should have a tag. So let's call this turret folder, okay, and then now we can copy this to the other side, and this storage holders will have a script, so we know if it is empty or not. So on all the storage holders we'll create a turret holder script. Okay. Okay. And here we just want to know if this folder is occupied. So public bool is occupied, and then in the start function this is by default false, is occupied, or rather is empty. Let's try this. So it is true by default, it is empty. Now we need to create the turret, some sort of turret. But here we have an error for some reason. Okay. I have a bit of lag, my bad. Okay, let's close this Visual Studio and restart it. Okay. Yes. Now we need to create some turrets, and for that I need to find some assets. So let's go back to this website and search for turrets. In this case, since we are in the medieval age, we can use let's try cannon. How do you write cannon? Yes, like this. Okay, try this one. Okay, seems okay to me. Let's download the two things, the PNG and then the rock PNG. You can open this folder now and drag these two here in our sprites. Okay. But this does not have the animation. Okay. And I don't need GIF. I need the animation sprite. See. Maybe we can find another one. This one seems okay. So let's grab the sprite sheet. And yes, now we need to to split this, first filter mode to point, then sprite mode to multiple, and let's see which one we need. We need the last one. Okay, try to slice by cell size. Need to do a little bit of math here. Calculator. So 482 divided by 8. Wait, not multiplied. How do you reset this? See, okay. 482 divided by 8. Okay, that's not good. We cannot split it. Okay, we'll use this one instead. Create a new. First, we need the turret, and this turret will be called turret 4. Set that sprite. Size a little bit. And we want this to be in the main above the base, and let's make it even smaller. Okay, something like this. And now this needs to have no, never mind, this is no collider, just yes, some sprite. Oh wait, no, never mind. Try 0, and below this we'll have the some sort of effect here. Yes, so here we'll create a sprite child and the square, and this will be green if we can place the turret, but let's make it a slightly bigger, and also below this, but above the holder, okay, this does not work. Okay, then no effects. Then now we need two panels, one for wait, just one in fact. Okay, and this will be called, instead of tech, instead of units, this will be called the turret panel. And here we need a couple of things. First, we need to go to our game manager, which is not here for some reason. Am I back? I got disconnected again. Am I back? I got disconnected again. I have an unstable network as well during the weekends, unfortunately. Um, it shows me that I'm not connected, but whatever. Okay. Next thing we need to do, we need to have a list of, or not a list, rather a layer, an array of turrets. So public game object turrets array, and then tech here. We'll call this tech unit panels, and here we'll call this tech turrets panel. Okay. I hope I'm still live. Okay. And now we need to create the turret. That is not very complicated. Okay. And these turrets will have different behaviors. This one we'll call turret 4 because it's the first one in the medieval um, level of technology. Okay. So we need a couple of things. We need the projectile, so game object public game object projectile. Then we need a float, or yes, a float. Float, not float, int damage. And let's see the behavior. Of course, we will try to look for enemies, the closest one. So here we want the public game object target target object. But first, let's see how to do that. We need to look for unity to the circle overlap. Okay, I hope I'm back online. Can you hear me? I hope I'm back. Let me know if you can hear me. Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Refresh the Twitch. Can you hear me now? Okay. Let me know if I'm back. Okay, then we can continue. Let's see how to use circle overlap, because we need to um, yes. So here we want to check, have a function here. So public void find target, and here we want to use that function here called circle overlap, and we need a couple of things. So first of all, the turrets will be either enemy or player. Um, so depending of that, we want to decide a couple of things. Um, so first of all, we want to flip the sprite. So public sprite renderer, and in our start function, and also we want um, two layer masks. So again, the layer masks are used to target certain layers, certain physics layers. So one will be enemy mask. Sorry, yes, enemy layer mask, and layer mask, and then layer mask target layer mask. So these two will set in the inspector, but we have some errors because these two variables do not exist. Here we want, but one second, why is this 5 here? And why is it not a bigger number? Let's see how to use this. Overlap circle all. Does this work? Overlap circle all, not returning anything. See. Yes. It seems that this is not correct here. This should just be. Oh wait, what is this? wait 1 second. Yes, so we do not need circle. We want to find all the objects within a certain radius, so like this. And now this should look a little bit different. So I'm assuming, let's look at that so this one is the starting point, which is okay if it is in the center. So transform position is okay. Here let's create that detection radius. Let's try to and then this is the layer mask, which we have to decide here in the start function. So first let's get the sprite renderer component. Renderer. And now we need to see if this unit is player or not. So if tag if game object compare tag player, then we want the sprite renderer flip x to be false. Then we want the target layer mask to be the enemy layer mask. And else if the tag is enemy, so if this unit is the enemy unit, we want to flip the sprite so it looks towards the other side. And then the target is the player, so here player. And also we need to create those layer masks, and we have an error here. Remove this. Yes, here we want that target layer mask. So what this does is it's like a raycast, but it is a circle, and it will find all the objects within that circle. And here the first variable is the starting position of the circle, so the center of the circle. Then the radius, how large the circle is. Then which layer physics you want to target. And I believe that here I believe this is everything we need. Should be. How do I see the overloads? Yes, how do I see? Yes, this is correct. This is correct here. We don't need the update function right now. Let's create those layer masks and create a projectile for this turret. So here enemy layer mask, we select just the enemy, and here just the player. And now we need to create that projectile. Okay. So let's do that. We can duplicate the arrow projectile. Okay, let's take that arrow and unpack, so it's no longer a prefab. Okay, call this I don't know, how do you call this? Arrow mode, I don't know. And let's modify the sprite with this one, and I hope that is an animation. Need to split this first. This one is very simple, should be the same size. um, Not sure if these are the same size. Let's see. No, yes, they are the same size, so this is perfect. Okay, now let's take one and place it normal object. But you see, this is very big resolution, so we have to set it to the pixel per unit to that resolution. See, now it's much better. And this being a projectile, we'll place it, yes, it is already in the correct layer, so above everything. Gravity, okay, no gravity. We no longer freeze the position and no longer freeze the rotation. And I also want to reset this box collider here, so press reset, and this is okay. Trigger. Now we save this in our prefabs, so projectiles, and now we delete it from the scene. Let's press that projectile here, and let's rename that to projectile prefab, so we know exactly what we are talking about. Okay. Okay, now yes, let's place the projectile here, give it some damage, and now we want to have some cooldown for this turret. So there's some time between attacks, and to do that, we'll have some counters here. So float, attack counter, and then the limit, float, attack counter, limit. And the attack counter is 0 by default, so it starts from 0 to the attack counter limit. And here, let's see how to do this. Find target, and then we want to attack here, and attack. Okay. I don't think we need okay, so here first of all, this projectile script, on all projectiles we want to give them some lifetime, so how much they exist if they do not hit anything. So to do that, we'll make a float called a lifetime and life counter, and then in the start function, so at the beginning when this object is spawned, the life counter starts from 0. Okay, and then in our update function, we increase this life counter by the time delta time. Okay, so this measures the time, and then when this life counter is bigger than the lifetime, we destroy this object. Okay, so projectiles will have a lifetime now. Now let's go to our turret. and we only want to target um, um, sorry, we only need to switch to find the target if we do not have one yet in this target object. But first, let me think 1 second, because there are multiple ways to do this. Okay, we'll do it another way. We'll create a new script for this. Where is it? This iron ball here. We'll remove this projectile, and we'll create something different. So turret projectile, and we'll do this because we want a different behavior. We don't only want this this projectile to go towards the player in the start function. We want to do this every frame, so that even if the the unit is moving, this will reach the unit 100% of the time. And to do that, we'll copy the projectile script and adapt it a little bit. And here we want, I believe this has a rigid body. Let's check first to be sure. Yes, it does have a rigid body. So here we want to get that rigid body, and also so first of all, let's declare that body, and then yes, we wanted the target. So public game object target object. Okay. In the start function, we need the rigid body. So rb get component rigid body 2D. And in the update function, if that target is different than null, we want this projectile to have a certain speed. So here, let's say public float projectile speed. So here, if the target is not null, if we have a target, we want that rigid body velocity to be equal to, and we want two things here. One is we want to set that velocity every frame, and we also want to rotate the projectile towards the enemy every frame. So let's see if we have that here. Let's see, rotate to the complex. Okay, and what is the simple way? Yes. Let's try this one first, but 1 second, my sensitivity is messed up. So we want to look towards the target every frame. That is one thing that we need to do. Rotate around this one. I don't know. This one is very complicated, but okay, let's try this one first and see if it works. If not, we'll actually let's use the complex one. But okay, so let's take this. So first, the velocity. So we need this difference. Okay, so this is the difference between. So here we want the target object, and I might do this incorrectly, but we'll fix it later if it does not work. Transform position. So this is the direction towards the what is it called, the target unit. And normalize means that this is vector 3 of magnitude 1, so of length 1. And then this is some complicated mathematics that I don't know exactly what they mean. So here we rotate here target not position, transform position, and here target object. So we want to rotate the projectile towards the target every frame. And then the velocity should be that difference times but you see this difference here is vector 3, you see. So we want to convert that to vector 2. So new vector 2 diff x and diff y, because the diff z, since we are in 2D, all objects are 0 on the z-axis. Okay, and then we have the direction, but we want to multiply with projectile speed every frame. Okay, and this has a lifetime. And let's see, on collision, obviously we want to know the target tag. Yes, and then this looks okay. Let's go back to the turret now. And here so we create a circle, and everything that collides with this circle will be saved in an array here. And then we want to find the closest one to the turret. So we'll create some ridiculous distance. So float minimum distance is equal to something really big, like this. And then we want to find the smallest distance. So to do that, we also want how do you call it? Yes, you need an object to save. Or never mind, we just need a yes. So for I starting from 0 to that results array length plus plus. So we go to this array, and then if results then y, and we want the yes, the magnitude of that of the difference between this and the turret. So transform position minus transform position, and I hope this is correct. We'll see if this is correct. If this is let's use let's put this in parentheses and then say magnitude. Yes, but it is not working for some reason. Cannot convert float to bool. Yes, here we need to say if this is smaller then the minimum distance, then the target object is this one results I, but object, so object, game object, and then the minimum distance will be that that um, the new distance. But let's since we're using it two times, let's calculate this first. So this float distance equal to this. Okay. And here we'll compare the distance to that minimum distance, and then the minimum distance become this distance. Okay, so we're trying to find the object within that radius that has the minimum distance, so the closest one to the turret. And here, after we find it, then so obviously if we do this overlap circle and we find nothing, then this 4 will not happen, obviously. So now we found it. So let's comment this. Find the closest enemy to the turret. But yes, and now we need to send a projectile towards that. So instantiate, and we want to spawn this projectile at a specific position on the object, on the turret. So let's see that turret again, and let's create two position, projectile spawn left, and duplicate this projectile spawn right. So the right one be here, and for the left one we'll just copy the position and on the x minus, and you see that if we flip this, this is correctly placed. Okay, and now let's create two variables for this. So public transform projectile spawn left, and public transform projectile spawn on right, and then we want public transform projectile spawn, and here in our start function we decide which one it is, if it is left or right. And so if it is player, then this spawn will be the right one, and now let's copy paste this, and if it is enemy, it is the left one. And now let's see. We want to spawn that that projectile from but you see what the problem is, that we want to have some cooldown here for the attacks, and let's use a coroutine instead. So here, instead of attack counter, let's say just attack speed. We don't need this anymore. And here we want turret for behavior, and instead of void we want numerator. So now it is a coroutine. Okay, and then we attack, obviously. and we want this to be an infinite loop while true. Okay, so this is an infinite loop. Okay, and obviously when you have a while in a coroutine, to avoid freezing your computer in an infinite loop, you have to say yield return null, so wait one frame every time we go to this while. But first we want to um, and I believe in this for we might have to wait a frame as well. We'll see. But first, let's create a game object, not game object. Sorry, turret projectile, and then we want the projectile projectile script, and here we instantiate, so we spawn the projectile prefab at projectile spawn. We know no rotation, and then we get a component which is turret projectile, and this does not work for some reason. Let's see what. Yes, this is a transform, so that position. Now that we spawn the projectile, we need to set the target. So projectile script target. Yes, we don't know. We no longer need this. No longer need this. Sorry, this target tag. Just. Okay, let's in fact let's maintain both. String, yes, target tag. And here when we decide if this is player or not, let's set that tag to the correct value. So if it is if we are player, then our target is enemy, and if we are enemy, our target is the player. And now here we want to set the object to the target object of this script, and then the target tag to the target tag of this script, and this should work now. But now we want to wait a certain amount of time after which is that attack speed. So yield return new wait for seconds attack speed. So now after each attack we wait some seconds before going through this loop again. And yes, so here if only if this minimum distance is different than 999. Okay, so meaning if this for happened, in other words, so if we did find an enemy close to the turret, then we spawn the projectile. Okay, and then we wait this amount of time, but we'll have to see if this works first. And I might crash my computer, so keep that in mind. And we want to start this coroutine in the start function. So start coroutine to add for behavior. Okay, but there is one more thing that we need to do, and that is after we find that um, enemy. So here, if we did find an enemy, then we want to rotate the turrets towards it with the exact same code. So let's copy that from here, and don't ask me exactly how this works because I'm not sure either. So first we want to rotate turret towards the enemy found. Okay, and here this seems to be correct. Now it's time to test this. And let's make that radius a little bit bigger, like 10 or something, maybe even bigger, 20. Okay, now let's place that square that we use to test stuff. Place it here, and let's see if our turret works. Okay, we have an error. It did rotate correctly, but we have an error. Let's see where that happened. Yes, we do have a problem here for some reason. Let's see. Maybe here we should wait a frame. Yield return null. Let's try that. Maybe that was a problem. No, never mind. We have another issue here. There is another issue. Yes, there are unassigned variables here. Yes, you see this spawn left and spawn right. Projectile spawn. Let's set that attack speed to 1 so that you don't spawn infinite projectiles here. And then on the iron ball here, a lifetime, let's try 2 seconds. Yes, this looks okay. The projectile speed, let's place a value, some damage, and let's go. Let's see. You see, it seems to work correctly. Okay, so that is a turret now, and I think we'll stop for today. Okay, I see. No problem. Okay, I'll see you next week. We'll create more turrets and work on the UI. And after we finish all units and all turrets and all mechanics, we'll try to create some AI for the enemy. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for coming, and see you next week.